client sent me a link a year and a half ago. Hey, they're trying out for MasterChef 24. I'd send the videos in like you're supposed to. And next thing you know, they're flying me out there.
What was the dish that you presented to them before your apron audition? Like the off-camera audition?
I did the scallops with the risotto. I wanted that to be my signature dish, but they wanted me to cook the salmon. So I banged out the salmon with rice and the chutney sauce. I got my new apron on, just for the show.
Look at you, dude. You look good, man.
It's all that vegetarian eating.
Give me one of these. Yeah.
Not bad for 61. Yeah,
crushing me, man. I said in my first episode recap that, man, if I look as good as you at 61, I've done it right.
Lifelong, you know.
I'm trying. I'm 38 and I still got a six-pack.
You're 38. I don't think you're that old. No, seriously, I thought you were around 30.
Yeah. No, I'm hanging in there. I do a lot of the last like maybe like 4 years I've gotten really into carnivore diet.
Yeah.
And
I tell you, that leans you up.
Dude, it does. I've the last couple months I haven't been doing it, and I've felt it, man. I've been eating pasta and ramen noodles and pizza and
ramen noodles.
Yeah, dude, I've been eating so much shit, and then
food.
Yeah, and now I'm like, fuck, I need to get back on carnivore.
Yeah, you know, just eat the ramens once a week. That's all.
Maybe once a month.
Well, if you exercise, you need those carbohydrates, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, wow, dude.
Yeah, so I got ixnay on the fucking cake, man.
Well, you're lucky. It would have been a couple weeks before when Rebecca saved your whole generation.
Yeah, I would have been all right. Yeah, because even though he said it was, you know, what happened was, you know, usually, you know, the way I cook in the kitchen, that shit, all that grease would have been sopped up with paper towels before I even ate it. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to kind of leave some in there because I don't, you know, their taste buds are different. And anyways, it tasted, hey, when they came around, they said, oh, that's really good meat. Like they tasted the potatoes were nice and creamy. So I know even that it looked like that, but taste-wise, it would have been better than the other one.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm saving myself. You know what I mean?
All good. You're down in Florida, huh?
Yep. Oh, here I just moved here almost 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, 2.5 years. Yep.
Loving it.
I love it. Yeah. You know, it's just a little stressful when hurricane season comes. You know, but you know, it's like anything else. You know, you gotta sleep with the devil to get some good things in life. You know, and you know, I love the weather. I don't care how hot it is.
Yeah.
You got AC.
Yeah, I love the Florida heat.
Yeah.
I miss it, and I love when I come to I'm in Texas right now. When I come to Texas, it's so hot out right now, and I freaking love it. But then because it's so hot, it's like I have the AC on. It's I'm in a sweater right now because it's so cold inside.
Right. Yeah.
But it's funny too because like I grew up in Florida and like playing baseball outside, and we were always outside at the skate park. So like I got a sweat in. When I'm in California, if I work out and I do a hard workout, I won't sweat.
Yeah, it's pretty dry out there, huh?
My body just like won't do it out there because it's so used to, you know, sweating in that heat down there.
Right.
But yeah, those hurricanes, man, I've been through quite a few I've been through some bad ones. Hurricane Charlie, Hurricane Ian, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went, when Ian, it was Ian or Maria. I don't remember. They seemed like back to back. It's all a blur. But the one that was really bad, like 4 or 5 years ago. And they just got hit with another one too. But there was this one that hit, and I was just watching it from here in California, just going, fuck, I wish I could help. And it wiped out Fort Myers so bad. And,
that was Ian, and that was on course to hit Anna Marie Island, that's where I live now, Anna Marie Island.
Okay.
And that was right on course. And, and then some old timer, he's like, just don't watch the news. It just scares you. They have no idea where it's going to go until it hits the Gulf anyways. And the guy was right, because it was aiming towards St. Pete, Tampa, right? As soon as it hit the Gulf of Mexico, it banged a quick right and went right towards Fort Myers,
Yep.
And they got a 10-foot surge of water.
It did. It went into my dad's house. My dad had to cut all the drywall out, but that one was so bad. But so the next day, the day after, there was one. I was trying to get down there to help. I was like, I'm just going to go help anyone and everyone I can. I got the time off. I got enough in the bank. I can get down there and just help. And I was looking up flights, and there was nothing, obviously, to Fort Myers. But then there was a flight to Fort Lauderdale. There was only one seat left on this Virgin flight, and they were selling it for $1,000.
What?
And I was like, fuck. And so I called Virgin. I was like, hey, this is who I am. I was like, this is my hometown. Like, they supported my MasterChef journey. Like, I need to go help them. Is there anything you can do for me on this flight? And they gave it to me for $99.
Wow.
And so I flew down. My brother picked me up. He drove from, Fort Myers across the alley and brought gas tanks so we could fill up gas and bring gas back, because there's no gas in Fort Myers. We waited for 2 hours in a line for gas. We got 2 chainsaws, and we got over to Fort Myers. And then the next 3 days, like literally, we just went house to house to house, that you could tell they didn't have anybody. They didn't have any help. They didn't have anybody in their family that had a chainsaw, whatever.
Oh, that's awesome.
We saw this one house, and this tree had fallen. It had blocked the door. It was into the roof, and it had blocked the car. And I said to my brother, I was like, they probably don't even know it's this bad. I was like, they're probably not even here. I was like, let's just go get this one out, because it just looks bad. And so we spend, like, I don't know, 30 minutes chopping this tree up, and this little old lady comes out, and she goes, where did you come from? It was just right. We were just like, blue. Yeah, we were just like, and it felt good, you're helping somebody out, but like, man, like, who knows, like, what would have happened to her if we didn't, because she's like, she ran out of groceries, or she couldn't get anywhere or whatever. So we were doing that, and then I heard of this chef mission called Mercy Chefs. They're a faith-based organization, which is fine. I don't discriminate on that, but I hit them up, and I was like, hey, I'm in town. You guys need help? They're like, yeah, we're all volunteer based. I was like, cool, I'll come help. And for 9 days, I helped them, and we were doing like 14,000 meals a day. I mean, I have a photo of me and a tilt skillet that has 50 gallons of mashed potatoes in it. Oh my God. And I have an oar. I have a metal oar that you would literally buy from like a marina store, and I'm using that to mix these mashed potatoes. But then, and I had a little pull with the radio. So I called the radio, and I was like, hey, we have all these meals, and we need to get them places. I was like, if you are home, if you have AC, if you have a car, come help. And then like literally like 20, 30 minutes later, we had a line of cars just taking meals to places. And it was a lot. Awesome. Fuck, those hurricanes are no joke, man.
No joke.
14 days without power, you'd be like, where's that AC?
Well, that's the whole thing, is that, it's, people say, well, right, I moved into a new place, I'm like 9 feet up now,
Okay.
So the water's, my house isn't going to go anywhere, but my old house that I had was up right on the ground, and it's like, but what do you do anyways? You can't use your toilet, even if you got a generator, right? I mean, you still, everyone's gone except me. You're the only one in the neighborhood still, doing anything, So it's like, you just get up and go. I mean, you just got to leave when it's that bad, no matter how ready you are. You know what I mean? But if you got a couple days, it's all right. But something like that.
You got to worry about the generator too. It's like, if you're the only one in the neighborhood with a generator, is someone going to come steal it when you're sleeping? Like. It's tough, dude. I don't wish a hurricane on anybody.
No, it's I'm getting used to it.
Yeah, you got to.
No,
You have to just embrace it when you're down there.
yeah, exactly.
So Geags, tell me about it, man. Where were you? What were you doing? What was like? What made you decide or gave you the spark? What was the catalyst? Like, I'm gonna go on MasterChef.
Well, actually, I'm not like a world class chef here. You know what I mean? I know how to
You're
cook.
not?
No, I know I seem like it, but I'm not. But I mean, I've cooked my whole life. Even when I was in college, like Geese would get the burner out and cook up his own stuff, and these guys are ordering pizza and stuff like that. I was always cooking. I learned it from my mom. And so I can cook anything. I really can. But as I get older, and then I got into my fitness industry stuff, and so right before the pandemic, I started cooking live on Facebook, just about 2017. Just for my clients. I say, hey, listen, go live. I get Facebook, go live now. I'm going to go home. I'm going to cook some healthy meals. Watch me. And then next thing you know, I had a lot of followers, a few thousand followers and stuff like that, and I just did it for fun, and then the pandemic hit and I kind of slowed up a little bit, and then TNT reached out to me. They saw me on Facebook, and then I went on the show, The Rat in the Kitchen. So they flew me down to Atlanta. Did you ever hear of the show?
No.
It was one season out of TNT. It was The Rat in the Kitchen. It was Chef Lefebvre. Chef Lefebvre?
Yep.
Yeah, he was the host with the comedian. What's her name? She's a little short comedian. She's an Italian girl. And she's
Sarah
a
Silverman?
lot. What's that?
Sarah Silverman?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So they were the two hosts. And so 60 of us, I made it onto the show. Yeah, so 60 of us went down there. We had 10 shows, right? 6 in each show. And the whole idea was for the audience to figure out who the rat was in the kitchen. And the rat would, like, say if you were the rat, right? And, you were still working side, you could have been my partner. And I, because we had to do, like, double sometimes, And you could be throwing shit in my food, and I wouldn't even know because you're a little pepper. And then you go to taste it, and the judges go, ugh. And you get so many points. And then, anyways, at the end, the 6 of us are standing there, and you have to vote against the people that you voted, like that were cooked with you. Like, who I thought, guess who they thought the rat was?
You.
Yeah. And it wasn't me. And so we ended up, the person the rat ended up with all the money, like $25,000. But she was a good rat because she came in saying she knew nothing about cooking and this and that. And anyway, so that was like, and that was before. And then we were in lockdown 24 hours. We couldn't leave our room because of the pandemic. Anyway, so I went home, and then I got busy again, and that's when I was moving to Florida. Right after the pandemic, I moved down here. And then a client sent me a link a year and a half ago. Hey, they're trying out for MasterChef 24. I did some video, sent the videos in like you're supposed to. And next thing you know, they're flying me out there.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the dish that you presented to them before your apron audition? Like the off-camera audition?
Oh, I did the scallops with the risotto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Seared scallops and risotto. Yeah. And I thought I wanted that to be my signature dish. Yeah. But they wanted me to cook the salmon. I said, all right. Yeah. So I banged out the salmon with rice and the chutney sauce.
Yeah. That was good, man. Like,
and it came out really good. At some point, I think they kind of like they want you to be on the show because of your personality, but you got to know how to cook. I mean, because there was a couple people there that they were funny, and I said, "Oh, these guys are gonna get on there." They didn't make it because their food was shit. Like they either got stressed out or you know how that is. I was stressed out. Like.
Well, look, there's also like they definitely like your personality, the way you interview, and then yes, you're right, you do have to cook. And look, I think you can cook, obviously.
Yeah.
I like the old saying, like, don't trust a skinny chef. Like, I'm like, no, you actually should pay attention to the chef that's in shape because they understand food even better. And so, I get it. It's just one of those things that like you actually probably weren't supposed to go home that day, but there are those things that happen sometimes, and like flour in the frosting, like there's no way Gordon's going to let that slide.
Right. And the frosting's all like, what happened? I put too many blueberries in it, right? So it got too moist. So I'm just throwing flour in it and secking it up, right? What do I know? I don't make any of that stuff. I've never even baked before in my life. I did a couple practice runs,
Right.
And so anyways, I still don't think I should have got kicked off because the cake was really good.
Yeah.
It was good. And Anna, that's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. You know what I mean? Like that's like a fool. That's really worse than mine. I don't care how good it is. At least it's got to have some sort of shape to it.
Sure. I mean, look. I literally just interviewed her. We talked.
Yeah, I know.
But
she's great.
It's hard because also like yes, there's fine print. Like everyone doesn't know that like right before the challenge we go and we listen to the rules and we raise our hands and we agree and whatever. So like taste is important. Presentation is important. Like you're constructing a cake. Like it's supposed to have minimum of 2 layers. So if it's fallen over, if it's crumbled, is it considered a layer? Like, right? Like, like you're going home. It's tough. But yeah, it's one of those things where like everyone goes home. Everyone goes home but one. That's why I have this podcast, because there's more losers than winners.
People kept asking, who win? Who? I don't even know who won. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Oh, you don't? You don't know yet?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I have no clue.
Yeah, because they always bring the top 10 back to the finale to watch it all go down and cheer on and whatever.
Yeah, right. I mean, you can't leave. You can't leave. Like once you make the top 10, you sign that you will stay. They don't send you home.
Well, I'll let you know they sent me home after they eliminated me on the second round, and I went home in the top 7. I was like, you guys could fly me back. I was like, I spent $15,000 to be here. I'm going home. I was like, You can fly me back. Thanks.
Right.
Let me know when to be here, what time to be on set.
It was a great experience, though, Derrick. I mean, the thing is, I was sick too. I was sick for about 3-4 days. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of people got sick there.
But not COVID.
I don't know. I'm not gonna say. You know what I mean. I don't know who got it and who didn't get it. It didn't matter. I didn't test for it. But I know one thing. I spent 3 days in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just perfect timing because it was right before Thanksgiving we were filming. So we had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday off. So that 4 days I spent in bed, waking up with my sheets totally drenched. And I would just go from bed to bed, and I would have them change the sheets the next day. That's how I felt. But I didn't tell anyone because I wasn't going home. I wasn't going home, man. I just locked myself in and kept zipped it up, and I don't, not too many people know that.
Well, look, you're a healthy guy, so it's not like you just got like the flu.
Right. Exactly.
I'm the same way.
I wasn't going home for that. Yeah.
That's good.
But
so Geags, tell me about the fitness life. Tell me about your career. Where'd you get started? What got you into it?
Well, first of all, I want you to know that I'm 23 years sober.
Wow.
I haven't. Yeah, I hit rock bottom about 23 years this past July. I lost everything: my house, my business. Lost my mind. And slowly it caught up to you as I got out of college. But I've always been in the fitness industry. That's where I got my degree in exercise science. And then I just happened to fall into personal training when I went out to the West Coast in San Francisco. That was 1986, 87. And then when I came back to the Northeast, There was like no personal training around. Like there really was like no personal training. You didn't have to get certified. The personal trainer in the local gym was the bodybuilder. Was a bodybuilder, and that was personal training back then.
Right.
And so that's when I fell into the industry, and I worked for other people, and so on and so forth. And finally, 20 something years ago, I opened my first studio, and it was like a boutique, 1-on-1, 2-on-1, and I'd have maybe one or two people working in there with me.
Okay.
And I just kept going, and then I ran my first marathon. So I stopped drinking at 38. I ran my first marathon at 40. I did 4 more marathons. Then I was getting sick of doing the marathon, so I did my first at 50 years old. I did my first half Ironman. Wow. And then I did 2 more after that. And then on my third half Ironman, I really destroyed my whole left ITBN, and I couldn't run for like the longest time, But so when I hit 40, I changed it up. I wasn't so much into like powerlifting anymore. It was like full body conditioning, long endurance training. It was something I've never done. So I did that, for 15 years. Now I run 3 miles, 4 miles, 3-4 times a week. And get a nice schedule. And again, it's all in the eating, Derrick. No, it's all in the eating. You can't out-exercise. You know what? If I ran a marathon, right? Think about this. If I ran a marathon at a 9-minute pace, right? Guess how many calories I would burn after one marathon? About 2,800. That's it. You run a half marathon, you burn about 1,400.
You mean so like these big ass fucking cheeseburgers and biscuits and gravy? I got to run a marathon after every meal?
Well, right, exactly. That's the whole point, right? You can't out-exercise your food, man. But again, what's killing America is all the processed food. It's all the stuff in the bags. It's not the processed food, the ultra-processed food. Like yogurt's processed, and this cottage cheese is processed, but it's the ultra-processed food. And the federal government allows mislabeling and misinformation. It says no sugar on it, but it's loaded with, sugar alcohols and, other things that are going to spike your insulin and store fat anyway. So, it's like,
you know that the fucking food pyramid is
it's upside down.
It's upside down.
Yeah.
And it's the biggest scam. And what was it?
50s.
1950s. They literally paid off Big Sugar. Yeah. Big Sugar paid off the government for like $30,000. It wasn't even a lot of money to say fat is what's bad for you, sugar is not.
And that's when the government started coming in and started buying up these large farms.
Yeah.
And then they were government run, and and they were just banging out the wheat and the barley and
now they're selling those farms to China.
Yeah, just it's too much for me to think about.
It's so crazy.
I try to keep my life simple. Yeah. And it was so when people ask, "Hey, Geeks, how do you stay in such great shape?" I eat whole foods. And now, don't get me going out organic, inorganic. All right, organic might be a little better, but something? It's a shame that people say you got to eat organic. There's so many people that can't afford that.
Sure.
There's so many people that can't afford. If you go to Walmart and get a bell red pepper, and you go to Whole Foods and get a bell red pepper, right? And you do a test on it. I don't know what the testing would show. It maybe just get a little more vitamin C in it than this one because it's organic. But you know what I'm saying? They make it seem like if you don't buy the Whole Foods one, right, you're gonna poison yourself and you're gonna die. It's just sad because and then they just keep thinking, just throwing all that other stuff out there and make it sound like it's not even food.
Dude, it's so frustrating, and it's so frustrating that this is one of those things where it's not a conspiracy. It falls on our government. Our government has set up this system with food that keeps America sick, so pharmaceutical companies keep making money. It's unbelievably twisted, and it's all profit, and it's all a scheme, and it's all so that we stay sick. We stay sick so they can keep selling drugs. And look, there's only 2 places on our planet Earth that it's illegal for pharmaceutical companies to put commercials on TV, and that's New Zealand and us.
Right. Yeah.
Dude, we have pharmaceutical commercials.
Right, that's right. Yeah, I mean, you look at something like a Coffee Mate, right? That's illegal in like the UK and Europe. You can't even buy it, Coffee Mate, at any European stores because the only one that allows it is America. You ever see,
But here's what's crazy. Is these podcasts where people are talking about this shit, like Joe Rogan talks about it all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you listen to his podcast, but he talks about it all the time. It's starting, the public is actually starting to make a difference and put pressure on the big companies. And guess where I noticed it since you brought up Coffee Mate? I noticed this the other day. I was traveling and I needed coffee creamer for my coffee. And I don't use just plain heavy cream because I like the vanilla flavor.
Of course you do.
And sometimes I'll use heavy cream and vanilla extract if I got it. But traveling, it's not always available.
It's out of the norm.
I'm in fucking CVS and I'm like, I just need a little bit of coffee cream because I have the thing. You have your cheats, like.
Well, right. Yeah. Listen, it's all good.
Coffee creamer is probably the most processed thing in my diet when I am dieting. But here's the deal. This blew me the fuck away. I'm like, man, I really don't want coffee, man. I'm like, let me look at it, and I turn it around, and it's like soybean oil, sunflower oil, like there's more oil in this thing than there is anything else, and there's not any actual dairy in it. And then I turn around Dunkin' Donuts creamer, and it's 3 ingredients. It's heavy cream, cane sugar, and citric acid. I think maybe it was
really?
I was like, no fucking way. I was like, it's just heavy cream and cane sugar?
3 things, yeah. And citric acid, that's putting a lot of stuff. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's to help it just stay better longer. Like, I get it. It's not bad. So I'm like, oh my God. I was like, Dunkin' Donuts is making a good product.
Right?
It's the pressure. The pressure of the public. We're finding out and we're talking to each other. Dude, I don't go to the doctor. I had a sty on my eye one time.
Yeah.
And so I went to this doctor to get the sty looked at. And he's like, okay, come on in. And his assistant comes in. She takes my vitals. And they're all perfect. Like, blood pressure's great. Everything's great. And then he comes in. He goes, well, I can't. He's like, at this office, I'm not allowed to do, like, it would be considered surgery if I cut into the sty. He's like, I can't do that. I have to refer you somewhere else.
Right.
I was like, okay, give me the referral. He's like, okay. And then we go out. And he tries to give me a bill. And I'm like, what's this for? He's like, well, we took your vitals and we checked to make sure you're okay. I was like, I know I'm okay. I'm not paying for that. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Right? Oh, I mean, I talked about this on, some of my cooking shows. I've got what's called Barrett's esophagus. You ever hear of it?
No, what is that?
All right, Barrett's esophagus is, it's predominantly in white males between 50 and 60, right? And what happens is that the muscle on the top of your stomach that connects to the esophagus becomes weak over time. And it could be from eating too much food before you go to bed at night over the years, right? Or it's genetically predisposed. It could run. And so, through my early 50s, I'd get more heartburn than I always thought. Right. And the thing is that my schedule, I would be at my studios, right? I'd get up in the morning, work, come home, nap, eat lunch, right? Go back to work out, come home and eat at 8:30 every night for, 15 years. And I go to bed at 10 o'clock. So here I'm going to bed on a full stomach every night. That could have been some of the reasons why. But what happens is the acid from your stomach leaks into your esophagus. It makes cancer cells, and that's Barrett's esophagus.
Shit.
1% of the people that get that end up with cancer.
Okay.
Now, the thing is, so now I got to go for... So when I was, like, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, I went and I'm getting close to 60, and I'm like, I got to get everything checked out, and I want him to check this out. And he says, you got Barrett's esophagus. I go, what the fuck? I eat good. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I exercise 6 days a week, and I still got this crazy thing. So the thing is, I got to take these PPIs to keep the acid down. Then you do all the reading on that. It's just, there's really not much else I can do.
Yeah.
So, but it just goes to show you, when you're 60, I already had 2 friends in college die in the last 3 months.
Fuck. Yeah, nobody gets out alive.
You know what I mean? No one gets out alive, but between 60 and like 75, I mean, like 55 and 65, if you got a good chance of dying as a male, nowadays. Yeah. Okay. You have a heart attack, stroke, or, something diabetic, so if we make it by 65, I got a good chance of making 75.
No.
But I got to get to 65 first. And I'm collecting at 62 because I don't want to leave any money behind.
As you
Because once you're dead, you're dead.
Yeah.
And
when you collect it, you should spend it too.
I'm going to spend every dime.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, so that's my story.
Dude, that's crazy. I mean, look, I know eating at night before going to bed is bad, but it's really hard as like a full-time chef like me, dude. It's like I'll eat at 10 o'clock and fall asleep at 10:15 because that's the only meal I've had all day.
Well, be careful of that because you might end up like me.
Yeah.
if you get in like,
will I get this accent? Or it will hurt my heart?
All right, here we go. Listen, you're gonna eat good. I gotta get the hat on here.
Hold on. Put it on. Geags, you misspelled it. You put an S on the end.
Listen, no. What happened was, did you hear him? Did you hear what he said? Geags, what? I said I ran out of room.
I know.
I was killing. And hey, I was cooking near was it Warren? Warren, the flight attendant Warren, right?
Yeah.
He's like, Geags, he says, you don't have the S. I go, I ran out of room, Warren. And we're both cracking up, right? And I'm like, I said, I don't care. I said, it's fine. It's fine. I had a good time there.
You did. I can tell you did. And I can tell you when you were up there, you were trying to make the best of it. And you chuckled a little bit, and Gordon got serious.
Oh, he got crazy. I was like, I don't want to piss him off.
No, because to him, shit, it's not a joke, man. Which is also kind of deceiving because he comes out, he starts every episode joking with everybody, trying to lighten everybody up, trying to make everybody feel comfortable. And then you're in that moment where you're like, you fucked up, so you're trying to make yourself feel comfortable. And he's like, I'm not playing now.
Right. And the thing is, freaking Mert made the worst dish for like 5 days in a row, but he'd always get through it. I was like, Mert, man, go for it. He was a good kid. I like Mert.
Yeah,
he's a hot chef.
I'm having a lot of fun giving him shit. I give him shit in every one of my recaps.
Yeah. But he thought he was going to go in there and be Mr. Jokester and joke. He got a little humbled by Chef Ramsay after the first day. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, maybe, but he still was cocky as shit up until this last one with the steak.
Yeah.
That steak, he fucked.
Listen, I mean, that's a major faux pas. That's like flour in the. That's like flour in the
in the frosting.
It is. It's like flour. You can't. You ever put a fillet in front of Gordon Ramsay like that? Oh man, that's like death.
Well, and not even that. It was like watching him cook that thing. He was he got in his head about it. He stopped. It was actually funny. It was the first time I watched him not be cocky.
Yeah.
Because he was so intimidated by this Wagyu filet. And it's like, dude, just treat it like any other filet. It just tastes better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just
that's like the stadium thing, right? So we were separated by a wall, so I didn't know what they were cooking over there. I knew it was and then we were cooking the fish on the stadium one, right?
Yeah.
Man, and after watching the show, I was like, holy, there's no way. Listen, I don't care. You're a professional chef. I'm not. There's no way you can cook those fillets like that for 100 people. And I can't even remember how much time we had.
Right.
No way. Well, you can't do it.
There is if they would have listened to Gordon.
I don't know.
Because look, so 2 times, well, 3 times in MasterChef, 2 in the first season, 1 in the second. I'll start with the last one. When I had to do the Cowboy challenge, and we had to do 101 steaks for the Cowboys, we had ribeyes. And look, those fillets are much thicker. And get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say ribeyes a lot different.
It is different. But there was this moment where I had this plan of how they were all going to get cooked, and I was talking to the team about it.
Yeah.
And Gordon comes over, and obviously, after watching it, so much more happens than what makes TV.
Right.
But Gordon comes over, and he tells us one time, he goes, first he asks, what's your plan on cooking these steaks? And I tell him, he goes, not a bad idea, but you'll run out of time. He goes, you need to do this. And he told me, and I was like, oh, we're allowed to do that? And he goes, yeah. He's like, yeah, that's what the speed racks are for. Sear them all off, get them all ready, just so you're doing pickups. I was like, we can sandbag. Okay, let's sandbag. And so I was talking with Chris a few days ago, and he was telling me, their whole idea was to like sear and then bake and then sear and then bake. And I was like, no. I was like, no. And then he said Gordon came over and gave him an idea, and he remembers it, but he was like, it was just too cold out that it just wasn't working. And I was like, well, that might be. I could take that into consideration. But the whole thing,
freezing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go home.
Yeah. Yeah, because you ain't got no body fat.
Oh. But I got stuck on the broccolini, right? I was killing it on the broccolini though. Like I was no one bothered me. I had the seasoning going. They're saying put oil into this. And I said no, I want to do it my own way. The other way seemed like it was too slow. But anyways, so I was banging out the broccolini. So I didn't, that's why you didn't see me in the episode. I was doing so good. See, when you do really good, they just leave you alone.
They do leave you alone. But really, like, did you go and watch any MasterChef before going on?
A couple of them, yeah.
Like a couple episodes or a couple seasons?
A couple episodes, yeah.
Okay, yeah. See, so when you watch, I've watched every episode. So before going into season 6, I had watched every episode.
Right.
And there's this whole pattern that if you step up and take the hard job and do it well,
right,
you're featured and rewarded. And
well, I wanted to cook the fish.
Right. But it's also, that's the moment. So it also becomes a moment of like demanding what you want. Like Gordon wants to see if you can take those reins too. Like if you wanted to cook the fish, but you're on broccolini, he's like, why is he not cooking the fish? Right. Or like there was a moment I had in Vegas when we were cooking on this rooftop. Like I kept saying, like, this is not a good menu. I was like, you want to pound out 101 chickens and roll them up? She wanted to do a chicken roulade. And I'm like, we have 100 people we have to cook for on this roof. You want to do a roulade? That means we have to take and pound out 100 chickens. And then we got to fill them. And then we got to roll them. And we still haven't even cooked them. I was like, this is crazy. Like, why aren't you listening to me? We should do something else. And like, she just didn't want to listen. And finally in that episode, I was just like, I just took over. I was like, look, this is the only way we're finishing. I was like, you do this, you do this, you do this. And I took over. And then I was the hero. But it's like, that's what they're looking for. And it's like, obviously it's hard in your head because you're like, look, I want to make it to the next round. So I'm just going to do this broccolini well, and I'm going to let them sort out fish. And yeah, I want to do fish, but I want to make it to the next round. Because you saw with Chris was on the fillet and he didn't do well and he went home. And it's like, it's always the meat station in the team challenges that's like the most important. And if you fuck that up, you're going home. Or if you want to be a hero, if the meat station's going down, you step up and take charge, then you change the whole game. And then the show becomes about you. So it's one of those things.
Well, yeah, with the fish though, Derek, like Becca did a great job. She really was. She had a lot of them to go. But what happened was just got overwhelmed with like the speed of it.
Right.
And
because you guys don't have clock. You don't have a clock out there.
No.
So Gordon comes and shouts at you, I need a taster in 30 minutes. You're like,
yeah.
How long's 30 minutes?
Exactly. You're like, whoa.
I'd yell back, Geags, how many push-ups can you do in a minute?
That's right. Right? You know?
Everybody watch Geags. He's doing push-ups. He's our clock.
Oh, man, yeah. Yeah, it was a great time, though. You know, it really was. I look back at it, and it's a great experience.
Yeah. Family, like, do you have family cheering you on? Watching
I really don't. You know, both my parents died very young. You know, cancer, and you know, pretty much my whole family. You know, alcoholism killed them. You know.
Really?
You know, I mean, on the death certificate, you say, you know, heart attack, cancer. But
sure.
You know, it's you know, my brother died at 33. My mom died at 53. My dad died at 48.
Wow.
My older brother, a year and a day older than me, you know, he was into, you know, other stuff for years and years and years. Yeah, I think he's doing good now, but I don't really communicate with him. You know,
no.
I mean, I had my own issues. I went to college. You know, I played 4 years of college football, Division II. You know, and I got my degree, but I always drank. You know, and then I got out, and you know, and next thing you know, it escalates. You know. It's, you know, it's one of those things where, and I'm so glad I stopped drinking. I mean, it's just a waste of money. It's poison, number one. You know, so many people, you know, alcohol is going to be the worst thing legalized in this country. You know,
for sure.
Never went out and doing marijuana, whatever. You know, everyone has to be, but alcohol is just terrible. It really is. Physiologically, scientifically, it's no good for you.
Right.
But you know, it is what it is.
But it's legal.
It's legal. As again, it says it's just like ultra processed food. It's killing America. You know, I think 60% of the people that are incarcerated is because of alcohol. You can't get incarcerated for eating a Big Mac.
No, crazy.
Some guy got pulled over. Though I saw it on the internet. He hit the back of a cop car because he was eating chicken wings.
Eating and driving.
Yeah. They got him. They gave him a ticket for that because you know.
What was the ticket?
Reckless driving with
an EUI? Eating under the influence?
Wings sticking out, yeah. There you go, EUI. But, you know, you ever see those things, though? Like, it's just amazing. You take, like the latest ones, you know, everyone thinks Chick-fil-A's, like, oh, so healthy for you, a piece of chicken. It's got, like, 27 different ingredients in the Chick-fil-A.
Right.
You know, and they put one inside, like, a box with some fries. I think it lasted like 3 months without any mold on it. You know, it just
3 months.
It just never even deteriorated. Yeah.
Well, then there's that one McDonald's one that still doesn't have mold, and it's been like over 20 years.
It'll never, right? So that stuff's going into your body.
Right. But so then tell me this though. Equate to me why we have a longer life expectancy now. Like, because like when you look back the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, there wasn't ultra processed food. But people were also not living very long.
Well, you think about it, I mean, you got to look at did they die of polio? You know, did they die of an infection?
Oh,
you know,
right.
Stuff,
Okay.
You know, stuff like I mean, people still going to have heart attacks. I mean, the number one reason why people are having heart attacks now is because of pretty much, if you look at who's having the heart attacks, you know, people that smoke, drink, overweight, you know, type 2 diabetes, you know, and then of course you always have the person that genetically you're just not blessed, and you know you have some sort of crazy thing wrong with your electrical activity in the heart. You have a heart attack at 35 and you die.
Right.
I mean, or you have a stroke. You know, there's certain things that kill people, and, you know, and now you know you just take some pills and you knock your type 2 diabetes down and.
Right.
And you live longer. I mean, look at these people with plastic joints and metal joints. I mean,
that's true. Yeah. You're talking. Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I just had this.
That's
weird
just my own theory. You know,
I just had this weird idea though. It was like a Twinkie in McDonald's is so overprocessed that it won't decay. So is it like are like people eating enough of that they're not decaying?
well, you know, it's like it's like.
Can I preserve my arteries?
Putting a coating on the inside of your arteries and stuff. Yeah. You know, just to prevent it from bursting or something.
Yeah, exactly. Here, let me eat a Twinkie a day. I'll live longer.
But, you know, genetics plays such a huge part in what's going on. You know, You know, if genetically you're just not blessed, and then you eat this or drink this it's usually to an excess. I'm like 90-10. That's my new thing. Like I've been a gigatarian. Not for years now. And everyone says, "What's a gigatarian?" I said, "Well, it's someone who if you eat at least 80-20, 90-10, and you got to exercise 6 days a week, that's a gigatarian, right?" I don't care if you got a penis. I don't care if you got a vagina. You are not allowed to be a gigatarian unless you have you fill those requirements. 70-30.
Not a gigatarian.
No way. Nope.
No.
Nope.
No, I'm all about, I'm about the 90-10. I've been telling my girlfriend, because when we first started dating, I was already like in the middle of carnivore, and I showed her before and after pictures, and she was like shocked. So she tried it, and I'm like, "Look, you don't have to do it." I was like, "But I can promise you, like, you'll lean out." And she like did real fast. She had major results, but everyone around her was like, "That can't be good for you. That can't be good for you." And it's like, no, what's not good for you is you guys going to Chick-fil-A every day. You guys going to Chili's. You guys are going to these places, and then you're telling her that this steak I'm cooking at home is not good for like. So like the people around her, whatever. But I was like, look, you don't have to do carnivore hardcore like I do when I do it. I was like, but if you do 80-20, you do 80 really good food, really clean food, and then 20%. A meal on Saturday, a meal on Sunday, that's more of a comfort food, and then everything else is just healthy, clean. I was like, you'll just feel better.
Feel better. Exactly. And there's all sorts of, I kid about the gigatarian thing, but, for like 3.5 years, I didn't eat any meat. I just ate fish and vegetables, like the Mediterranean diet, But, if I have a steak, if I have some ground turkey and, lean meat and this and that, it's not going to kill me, And that's what I mean by that. It's like, you can have everything in your life, but you can't be eating any ultra-processed foods 50% of the time.
Right.
That's the key. And that, to be honest with you, that's what's going to, have all the physiological responses. It's going to cause a lot of metabolic dysfunction.
Right. Well, and also a lot of people come down to the taste of it too. They're like, well, it doesn't taste good. It's like, no, you're addicted to sugar. And when you cut that sugar out and your body stops craving it, when you get past the cravings, and then everything starts tasting real, and then it starts tasting good. Like if you just ate a donut, a carrot is not going to taste good. No. But if you eat a carrot for a week and then you eat a donut, that's going to also shock your system.
Yeah, it's going to be like, whoa.
And then you're going to go, let me get that carrot.
Right? It's true, though. I mean, that's exactly how it works. And that's how the body works, too. Like, so when someone asks me, what kind of diet, a diet to me is just what you eat. Like, you're a carnivore diet, right?
Right.
I mean, in a sense, I'm kind of like a carnivore diet, but I exercise too much to stay on mostly meat. I need carbohydrates because that's what fuels the body.
Sure.
Protein doesn't fuel the body unless you're in some sort of real deficit, and we get what's called Kwashiorkor disease, and that's when you have no glycogen left in your muscle. You have your carbohydrate stores are totally depleted. That's when someone's really sick. You start to eat your muscle.
Okay. Yeah.
But that being said, like say if I know I'm going to run 4 miles tomorrow, right? And I'm going to hit the gym, right after that. I'm going to do like whatever my program is. I mean, I got to make sure I eat a little more carbs on that Tuesday when I hit that gym on Wednesday. Because if I don't, I'm not going to have the energy level that I should have. It's just because fat can't break down fast enough to use within the glycolytic system in your muscle, in the Krebs cycle. It just doesn't work, and so like that's when bodybuilders, when they cut weight, right, they're not trying to increase their carbohydrate load. They're increasing their protein load.
Right.
So they can get enough calories in, and they don't get any muscle deterioration, but they're not trying to build muscle at that stage. They're coming down to the show. They want to lose body fat. So once you cut your carbs, right?
Yep.
And you increase your protein, you have to burn fat to get that glycogen. You need glycogen for the muscle. And that free fatty acid will give off one glycogen molecule and send it to the brain and send it to your There's only two places in the body that glycogen is stored: your liver and in your muscle tissue.
Okay.
Everybody carries around 2.5, depending on the size you are, about 2.5 pounds of glycogen a day. So when you go on those crazy diets, right, and you don't eat any carbs and you just eat protein and fat, you can lose up to 10 pounds in a week. 2.5 pounds of that is like your glycogen stores, because you're not filling it back up with any carbohydrates. So how does the muscle contract? It's not going to contract fully, and you're not going to have a lot of energy because you don't have any stored energy within the muscle fiber.
Right.
Okay. And it's this whole physiological thing. So there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, they're talking about effigy. You ever hear that effigy? When you go into you eat mostly carnivore and stuff like that, it's like it eats up the bad cells and stuff like that, because sugar, grows cancer. And sugar is the energy source within the body that all the cells want. And if you got bad cells that are eating your sugar, so on and so forth. I mean, I'm not a medical scientist, but there's a lot to it. So it depends on what kind of exercise you're doing. I can't be, if I eat just meat and just vegetables, it's hard for me to work out in the gym. But if I have meat, sweet potatoes, vegetables, some quinoa, a little more protein in those nice starchy carbs, right? I'm going to have more energy. But I'm not going to be eating potato chips and French fries.
Right.
That's the difference. That's the difference.
Right.
Well,
see for me, when I'm trying to lean out or just be more like clean cut, because I spend so much time in the kitchen just walking around in circles. So I don't need like that pumping iron kind of energy. I don't run long distances. I like to sprint. If I'm going to run, I like to run fast and quick. But so I can also listen to my body and know, okay, when I am pushing myself or doing something, I'm listening. And my body's like, yo, you're crashing right now. You need X, Y, Z. And it's like, okay, I need some kind of, carb to get in there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But so that's where I fall into like the 80-20. But also that's where I agree with you. I don't like the word diet, but I feel like I have to keep using it because I'm trying to explain to people something. But like really, we shouldn't have this word. It's just like it's eating right or it's not.
It's your lifestyle.
Yeah.
What's your lifestyle, geeks?
Yeah.
I don't eat any processed shit. That's my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Very real.
And that should never. Rare. Why is that considered a diet? Not eating ultra processed shit. People call that a diet. Like, no. Like you like you eating ultra processed shit, it should be called you're poisoning yourself. Pretty
much. And that's why when people drink, they even, it's made that one glass of wine a day is good for you. They've just come out with recent studies over the last couple of years that it's not good for you. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's all because it's the alcoholic industry, and it makes money. You drink whole grape juice, you're gonna get the same resveratrol out of that than you did out of a bottle of wine, but you don't get the alcohol, and that's an all molecule to eat away your liver.
Sure. Now look, I drink, I enjoy.
Everyone enjoys it. It makes you, relaxes you.
Sure, and sometimes you need that social, that liquid courage. But I learned over the years, for me, just listening to my body, like if I just drink tequila on the rocks, I'm better off than anything else.
That's the best thing to drink if you're going to drink.
Right.
Tequila breaks down the quickest and gets out of the body the quickest.
And has the least amount of... Right.
Tequila's not made from potatoes or grains or stuff like that. It's made from
agave.
Yeah, agave. That's right. Yeah.
So they don't add sugar to it either because of the agave. And so when I learned all that, I was like, well, if I'm gonna drink tequila.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, really, you know.
No, but I mean, look, like I get it. Like it is not good for me, and I always participate in sober October and dry January. And look, at the end of the,
I love that. My clients go on dry January. I go, what the fuck? I said, why even bother? I said, what do you think? You're going to stop drinking for a month? You're going to become like Superman? I said, just keep drinking.
Well, look, at the end of the month, I feel like Superman.
You do, and then that's why you just keep going and never drink again for the rest of your fucking life. I used to love. Hey, listen, it'd be nothing if me and you were drinking together in a bar room. Me and you would have I would have the best time. I'm a happy drunk. I go.
Me too.
You know?
Me too.
You know, I make fun of everybody. You know, the whole nine. Yeah, good Irishman. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And but you know,
look, we would both have an amazing time having a drink at a bar, but I think we'd have the same amazing time with or without the alcohol. I think,
exactly.
I think you and I are.
Yeah.
We're wired that way. Look, I mean, I think about it a lot, like actually saying, okay, let me just not drink anymore. Just because I know, like, I am aware of what I'm putting in my body, you know, but like for instance, and this is not
You're
an excuse.
Still young. You're still a baby.
Well, look, I'm 38. This is when you stopped, you said, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So last night I was at this birthday party for a friend, and she owns a private jet company. Now there's billionaires at this party.
Billionaires, yeah.
And with a B, and you know, I've actually cooked for I'd have to go back and double check the number, but I think somewhere around 22 billionaires, which there's not a lot on this planet in general. So the fact that I've cooked for 22 of them is pretty freaking crazy. But with that said, I'm in the room and I need to talk to these guys, and I'm just getting in my head about it. But a little bit of tequila and I can have a conversation with anybody. You know?
I love it. Yeah.
So I literally, just before logging in with you, one of the billionaires from last night was really excited about the conversation we had, and he just texted me, and I'm like, that's fucking crazy. So, you know, I still, here and there, I need that little liquid courage that tequila gives me.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. There isn't.
Well, there is, because it's poison, but...
Well, I mean, if you drink it one a week, you know, one every 2 weeks. Now, if you're drinking tequila every day, you know, it's a whole different story, you know?
Right. Yep, for sure.
But anyways, so it didn't work for me. Let's put it that way.
Yo, it doesn't work for everybody, and then you got people like my client's mom's like in her 90s, and she has a vodka soda. I'm like, crazy, still going, and you know. So what do you got going on now? You're still working, right? You're not retired.
Oh yeah, I'm working part time. You know, I have clients in the morning.
Okay.
You know, I'm slowly doing more shows now. You know, and see if that will, you know, get that going. Yeah. I want to do it. I'm trying to do at least one a week. You know, just no editing, just do it live.
Oh,
you know,
your live shows on Facebook?
Yeah. You know, are
you going live on Instagram?
That's my next. I'm gonna go live pretty soon on Instagram. Yeah. Yeah. I had a tough week this week because my cat. You know.
What happened to your cat?
I had to put my cat down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Today? 16 and a half years old.
Oh, fuck.
I cried. I've been crying all friggin' morning. I still got his cat bowl there and his, you know, it's like 16 and a half. He's been through a lot with me, you know. Damn. It's a long time, you know. His name was Rocky.
Rocky.
Rocky's a tabby cat. He was the best.
Of course.
He was the best cat ever, man.
You gonna get another one?
Not right now. Maybe eventually. Yeah, I gotta. You know, I'm at the age where, you know, I don't know. We'll see. Next time I'll get an animal when I turn 85. That way, when I die I'll die before the animal. It's tough, you know. I was holding him like this, you know, and then as he inject him, and he, you know, but I had to. I mean, the cat couldn't walk anymore. You know what I mean? He's getting up, going to the litter box, and for the last 4 days, he didn't eat anything. And I said, this time, I was holding off, you know, being selfish.
Yeah, that's also hard.
Yeah, then I said, I can't be selfish anymore.
Damn.
So that was my my day, yeah.
Yeah, that's tough, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think about it every day with my dog, Rebel.
Oh, yeah.
My dog's with my ex-wife right now, and like when she has the dog and I don't, and I see just the bowl sitting on the floor, I think about it. I'm like, man, like the dog is not going to outlive me, and that lone bull sitting over there just like reminds me, and I'm like, I'm not even there yet. Like, fuck.
No, I know. I used to think about the same thing, and but
we don't deserve them. They're such good. There's just like a dog, a cat. They get you through so much, and it's like, do they know it? Maybe they do. Maybe they don't.
They sense it.
Yeah, they're smart.
Absolutely, yeah. They feel the love,
Okay, so you said you're working part time. Like you got like
I got clients. I got some clients online, and I got clients that I live on the island now, Anna Marie, and I go to their house and train them.
How far are you from Tampa?
Oh, I'm about an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, I just did a show up there. I'm going to be live on the channel 13 on the Cooking with Diaz show on channel 13. He was on MasterChef channel season 6. What's his name? Oh shoot!
I was on season 6.
What?
I was on season 6.
Maybe it was 7 then.
Okay.
He had glasses. What the hell was his name? I can't think of his name right now. He's got a show though. It's 1:00 every day up in channel 13.
Okay.
Look it up. Cooking with Diaz.
Okay.
It's like ideas, but without the I. Cooking.
Oh, got it.
Diaz, yeah.
Okay, cool. And so he does that. He does that every day. Wow.
Yeah. He knew someone up there, and so after the show, they kind of a year later they put something together, and that's what he hosts it. Yeah. It was fun. I cooked a vegetarian burger. So it was,
What the fuck is a vegetarian burger?
Well, it's I cook up the vegetable. I cook up some whatever vegetable you want. And you stir fry that, and then you mix it into the burger, and then cook the burger. Fast and sear it. It's a turkey burger though.
Okay, so the veggies are in the burger.
In it, yes.
Okay.
But you got to cook them first because if you don't cook them,
you don't want raw vegetables in there.
Yeah, they won't be it's fully cooked. Yeah, it came out really juicy and it was great.
What oils do you not use in the kitchen?
I only use 2 oils. I try to get the extra virgin olive, and when I buy, I try to look at where the olives come from.
Okay.
Do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If it's got like 7 places. What are usually I either get the one with the one, and I get the avocado oil. I like avocado oil. But there's this new stuff I saw online that all these master chefs are using. It's like 5-star chefs. I saw it as like this. It's like this. What is it? I forget. But anyways, all the bigwigs are using it now.
You're talking about the brand?
Yeah. It's the brand, or they're not doing. It's not olive oil. It's not avocado oil. I don't know. I'm gonna find it and send it to you.
Okay.
But if you're not using it, it's probably not good. You're like a troop. Did you go to school for this?
No.
You're self-taught.
Self-taught, but so I only use avocado and olive oil and ghee. I'll use ghee.
Ghee, right?
Yeah,
but I think it's a form of ghee.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, you have to find it. Send it to me. You got my number.
I will send it to you. I promise.
Okay, what are you doing the rest of the day?
Oh, the day's over, man. It's over. Today's Sunday.
4:30. What do you mean the day's over?
Yeah, to me the day's over. Actually, I've been working. We get that big rainstorm that came through here.
Yeah,
Debbie. It was Debbie. It wasn't a hurricane when it hit us, but we got dumped with so much rain, right?
Yeah.
And the wind blew all this shit into my pool, right? It took me 2 hours to get the stuff out. Vacuuming it, right? And then my pool was green for like 2 days. Then I went away, and when I got back, it was even worse. So the last couple of days, now it's beautiful. It looks like the Gulf of Mexico.
You're funny, dude.
Like $200 later, and sweating my beep off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
thanks for putting the clothes back on for me.
I drive around the scooter on the island. That's how I get around.
With or without clothes on?
It depends. After as long as after the sun sets.
Okay, Geags, one last question, and then we'll wrap it up. Dead or alive, what celebrity would you cook for?
Celebrity.
Any celebrity you could cook for, who would it be, dead or alive?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger and cook for him.
Oh.
And anything I cook, he'd love because he's healthy.
Yeah. Well, all you got to do is just hang out at the Gold's Gym in Venice. You'll see him.
Well,
He's there. He's there like 5 days a week.
In Florida?
No, in L.A., the Gold's Gym in Venice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's Venice in Florida, too. I'm like, I thought he lived in Cali.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
My friend Joanne, she lives down in, she's in Boca now. She moved from L.A. to Boca.
Yeah.
She's a trainer. She's phenomenal shape. But she actually knows him. They've done a few workouts together.
Oh, nice.
What was the other in the 80s, the big fitness guy? He has a foundation, but not Arnold. It's a different guy. He's passed away. Never mind. I don't know. We'll cut that part out. I forget his name. He was a big time. Hold on, let me look it up. It's bugging me. I got to do it. An event with him.
I mean, Jack LaLanne was the king.
That's who it was. I did an event.
Jack LaLanne.
Yeah, I met his wife.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's passed, but yeah.
Yeah. He was 96 when he died.
Crazy.
I met his daughter. If you look back in the YouTube videos, right?
Yeah.
Find the one where he starts talking about, that's when the processed food in the 50s started coming into the supermarkets. And he was dead. He was like so ahead of his time. He's like, do not eat that food. That is no good for you. Like, yeah, he says it right on his, he used to do a live program. That's where Jumpin' Jacks, they named the Jumpin' Jacks after him.
Jumpin' Jacks are named after Jack LaLanne?
Yeah, he used to do them on TV. He used to have like... Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that's where they got the name.
Yeah, Jack LaLanne, the Jumpin' Jacks, right? That was like, but he invented like leg extension, leg curl. Like he had a lot of patents out for machines and stuff. That guy was way ahead of his time.
Yeah.
He was I wanted to meet him and then he died.
Yeah, damn.
He was a guru.
You feeding Jack LaLanne and Arnold Schwarzenegger, man, that would be a sight for the...
Yeah, I'd feed him a gigatarian burger.
Imagine Arnold, gigatarian.
This is delicious.
Geags, man, thank you for the conversation.
Hey, man,
if I get down to Florida, I'll hit you up.
Yeah, you better.